Hey guys, welcome to the 101 in 10, where you get to see your favorite artists from around the world 101 in 10 minutes. I'm your host, Ayasha Roberson, and I'm back on the music scene with a new artist. They have this really rock type of songs, and they flow, and they have this really nice energy, and it's really about life and just relating to, our experiences. It's very relatable. Their music is organic. I love the songwriting as well. So without further ado, we have Shanghai, did I pronounce it right? Metro Temple, which is the musical group for today. Thank you guys so much. Yay. Thank you for all being on the show. So can someone tell me, how did you come up with the name of the group? What were your musical influences? And how did you become the group that you are today?
Sure, I can take that to start. So the group kind of goes back to when Justin and I were in college. We met each other on a study abroad in Shanghai while learning Mandarin. And so while we were there, we used to go to this bar called The Spot, which is in the Jing'an Temple district. And the Jing'an Temple is like a large Buddhist temple in the middle of downtown, a metro temple, if you will. And so at this bar, they had a cover band that we made friends with, and they would let us come up and play with them. And so that was the first time that Justin and I ever got to play together. And then so basically after that, about once a year, we would try to start up a band, and we're pretty unsuccessful for the several years after that. But we kind of started getting back together in like 2019, 2020, decided to name the project after that kind of experience of playing together in Shanghai the first time. And then we found a bass player, and then I found Devin on Craigslist. And then Kevin we found through a friend of Justin's mother. So yeah, that's kind of how we got the project together. Talking about the influences and stuff. A lot of us come from, like Justin and I, for example, have pretty similar musical backgrounds as far as like the rock music is concerned. I was very influenced by like Iron Maiden and Def Leppard and all of like the 80s hair metal and hard rock bands. But I'll let the other guys kind of talk more about their influences.
Yeah, for me, I grew up here in Colorado, and I grew up with kind of very limited choices. I had, the radio, and so it was either pop music, rock music, or country. And so I kind of, through my life, was very inspired by those kind of genres. Very inspired by John Denver, because he's from from Colorado. He's big show guy on stage. So he's a big inspiration for me. But Kevin's got some other inspirations as well. But
yeah, I was honestly more into like hip hop and jazz based music. Cool. And I was a guitar player when I was younger, but all stuff eventually led to the keyboard. So that's kind of how I ended up at the instrument that I play now in the band.
Kevin is our resident actual college trained musician. He went to school for music at Denver.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was really into Mac Miller, Flatbush Zombies, Nipsey Hussle, just like a lot of the beats of hip hop music is kind of what led me to playing keyboards. So
great. And thank you so much, Kevin. And Justin?
Well, my musical influences are pretty much just a smorgasbord of everything everybody's kind of said, from jazz to classic rock. I definitely stay, close to that core of classic rock. Rolling Stones, Queen, Styx, Zeppelin, those the greatest of all time. So I listened to that all my life. I've been brought up on rock concerts like that. Really, I take a little bit of everything, kind of jazz and hip hop and funk, all of that. All of those really influenced me, but kind of that classic rock core, if you will.
That's great. Now, I just want to say, I just love how Patrick just started off saying, yeah, we all met in Shanghai and we speak Mandarin together. Mandarin is a very hard language to speak. It's like, he said it just like so like fluently and easily. And I see that Justin has like a money tree behind him and a feng shui type of plant too. So this is a lot of good energy that I can feel through this interview with with you all coming together as one Shanghai Metro, like this creation of good music. I just love it. Temple. The temple is the house that y'all all sit in.
Yeah,
One.
yeah. You know, I
Good way
mean,
to put it. Yeah, I agree.
you know, the temple is what we are, what we've become. We've really become really close when we found each other. You know, it takes a lot of work to find the right people to gel with and to jam, and then really, you know, there are so many other aspects. We've learned so much in getting this project off the ground, and that temple's kind of become just us and what we bring to each other.
Even though we all hate each other too.
Yeah.
It's tough love, we'll call it.
It's like having, 5 girlfriends.
5. Wow, that's a lot. Well, I love the fact that Justin, you hit the nail right on the head when you talked about having a group, being able to gel together, be able to kind of get through those rough roads. Because I think that's a lot of times that make and break groups as a challenge. Like a lot of times they can gel together. They can't even gel their music, let alone gelling together as individuals in a group. So I think that's what makes you guys so able to connect and create this great harmony and this great music together, because you are able to gel and you're all able to kind of get past these rough patches and still continue to make the music that y'all are making. So that is definitely a challenge as being an artist. So can you tell me a little bit about your success stories of having this band together and playing?
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of success that we've gotten from this project. I'm very proud of where this project has kind of ultimately come to, in the short time that we've been together. Last year was our first year out in public, playing shows, releasing music, and we had, I think, at the end of the year around 20,000 streams online. That was, with a lot of pushing and effort, and I think we're really proud of just reaching. It's not an overwhelming amount of people, but it's still very exciting for us, in our first year. And then alongside those successes, we've had just the opportunity to play with some great other bands out there locally and abroad, and we've developed relationships which in my opinion are more valuable than any of the numbers or any of the streams or anything along those lines, because we have new relationships and friendships and people to rely on when we need help filling a show or something like that, and it's been a really good experience. Yeah,
that's great.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, I was going to say, springboarding off of that, I think that being able to gel with each other as people has allowed us to play more shows more regularly. And we went from doing it. Now it's like 2 to 3 shows a month, and we're just having a great time doing it. So it's a pretty cohesive experience.
Awesome. Anyone else wants to add?
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, Adriana, you kind of nailed it, right? I think anybody who's a young or new artist knows that you're gonna see a lot of struggles and get a lot of tests up front that really challenge you. And so at this point, we kind of take those challenges head on. It makes us stronger as a group. We've had tremendous success, right? We released an album in March 2021. That was our debut album, and we perform it as much as possible. And so we got so many, we're really starting to see a bunch of weekend primetime bookings for the band now, which is huge and gets us so many more fans. And the response that people give us from listening to the album or seeing us live. Some people like our covers. Some people like like the original tunes. It's always different. Someone always has something different to say. So it's really so cool to see how people respond to the music. And then, like Devin said, we've opened for some really big acts. We played this awesome Super Bowl party, opened for Diplo out in LA. And so, you don't know what's going to come. And, just release the album. We just recorded a new song. So we're going to start announcing and determining the release date for that. So just more and more wins to come, and quite a few already that have gotten us to this point.
Great. Now, you said a little bit about the music, so I want to talk just a little bit about the music. So I want to talk a little bit about the song In the Dark and also about Out of Sight. Can you tell me what were like the musical influences for it, and what was the creative process behind creating both of these songs?
I'll start with In the Dark, and then I'll let segue into Devin doing Out of Sight. So In the Dark started with I had wanted to write a guitar part that was not in like your typical rock key. So a lot of rock music is pretty much in E minor, A minor. So I wanted to kind of change it, and we didn't go too far, but we just did C sharp minor to start the key. And so it kind of starts off with that soft opening to kind of get into it. And then kind of the big thing with any of these songs that we try to do is really have these driving choruses, because that's really what I think a lot of our favorite parts of rock music is. And then so I wrote essentially like the beginning, or I guess the intro part to In the Dark and some of the chorus. And then Devin came over to my house one night, and we just sat there, and I played the part over and over and over again on my acoustic guitar, and he wrote lyrics. And so we wrote the lyrics there. I put it in like Ableton the next day and started kind of putting the ornamentation and putting it out there. And then, we were able to get it done, I think within the span of like a week or two before heading into our first show.
Wow.
Obviously it didn't get recorded for a while until then. But then, and I'd also say too, one thing that was interesting with In the Dark is, we go to the studio called Han Audio in Aurora here. And I think for basically all of us, it was like our first time really in the studio besides Kevin. And that was really the first time with In the Dark that we kind of saw the studio process start to happen, where we started making a lot of additions in the studio versus coming in with the song completely put together, like we had for kind of the first 3 songs.
I felt that's amazing. I felt like it was already put together, even though you said it was a creative process behind it, but it just really flowed very naturally. It wasn't anything forced with that song in it. And when I hear In the Dark, that's what I feel. I feel that naturally flowing, that rock, that bass, the voice, the lyrics, the music, and that's the harmony that I hear. And it just feels really good when I hear that song. Now, let's talk a little bit about Out of Sight, Devin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Out of Sight. That was a song that actually was kind of predates the band, and actually I wrote it for American Idol, and it's kind of like one of my first songs, that I wanted to go do, and then I stopped doing music for a bit after that, after they turned me away, and I brought it to the boys, and one day we were like, we like this, but let's kind of rockify it, because it was a much different song back then, it was more folky, it was one acoustic guitar. Then, the boys went wild with it and just came up with, what it is today. We messed around with the key a little bit, and then it became kind of what it is today. And it's the only song we have a music video for, and it's just kind of always meant quite a lot to me, just because written about my family. It's not a love song. A lot of people think it is, but it's written about my parents actually, and kind of my relationship with them, and kind of in a different way, but
It's interesting to bring that up too, just because that way that Devin described us writing Out of Sight was pretty similar for like the first 2 songs, because Devin, when he came in, we had him audition with some covers, but he brought Take a Chance to audition with as well. And so we played Take a Chance for the first time, and his audition immediately took to the song, and it was in the studio like less than 3 months later.
Wow. This is awesome.
Crazy fast. Just clicked. Everything kind of just went into place and had a good time playing. We still have a good time playing sometimes.
No, y'all are doing such a great and amazing job. I am so excited. The music is phenomenal. The experience, I'm experiencing your experience through your musical journey and how you have become Shanghai Metro Temple. And it's just I'm honored to even have you guys on the show. So I want to thank you guys for being on the show and allowing for us to really tap into your journey as these creative artists. Can you guys tell us, how can people book you? How can they come to your latest shows?
Yeah, if you're interested in anything that we do, you can social media. If you've got Instagram, that's probably where we're most active. We also have TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, although we're not very active on Twitter, I'm going to be honest, but we should be. Then, if you want to, listen to our music, we stream everywhere. All of our releases are going to be dropped, on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, if you use that. Then if you kind of just want to keep up with general information, we have our website, and that's just shanghaimetrotemple.com. So
thank you so much, Devin. And 101 and Tenors, they have a new song and album coming out soon, so make sure y'all stay tuned and make sure y'all follow them on social media, especially Instagram is where they always are on. And thank you guys so much for being on the show. And thank you guys, the fans, for watching this episode of 101 and 10, where you get to see your favorite artists from around the world, 101 in 10 minutes. I'm your host, Ayasha Roberson. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Continue to be safe, continue to be positive, and continue to allow your brand to shine. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you, Ayasha.
Thank you.